Hello and welcome back to our series on the heralds in Assassin's Creed games. We are jumping right back into Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and without any further ado, let's get right into it.
To all Medici, take heed. A new breakthrough from Flanders in the treatment of gout is being hailed as a miracle. It involves imbibing vast quantities of beer. Consult visiting maestro Jan Taneinhouse at the guild hall for all particulars.
Okay, a personal message to the Medici family. Very impressive. You may ask why this family in particular would be mentioned by a herald. Well, that's because at the time and since then, this family has been almost synonymous with gout. And this is a form of inflammatory arthritis characterized by recurrent attacks of a red, tender, and swollen joint. It's been known for centuries by the time Ezio hears this announcement, and in this time it's commonly associated with the wealthy because it's often found in those who can afford rich diets. Recent study combats this association between the Medici and the gout. Apparently Cosimo and Piero the Gouty may have actually had rheumatoid arthritis, but to the people at the time, this association seemed without a doubt. Either way, haven't found any particular professional who may be the one named here, but hopefully those looking for help will find it with him.
The Holy See has agreed. The new code of conduct concerning garment modesty and of punishment for sins of revealed flesh. The one major alteration is regarding the minimum length of sleeves to be worn by donne when in public.
Italian city-states were partially known for having a preoccupation with the regulation of women's clothing. Venice and Florence passed their first sumptuary laws in the late 1200s and constructed these to prevent women from either covering themselves lavishly or to keep to a moral code. Now these ranged from limiting the quantity and value of rings and headpieces to how far necklines could plunge. There were some different motivations for this, but in general, these sumptuary laws were concerned with female modesty. It's important for me to point out that there was quite a bit of resistance to these moves from both men and women, but in general, this herald matches the historical record well and reflects how cities felt about women.
A reminder to all aspirant practitioners of the carnal arts. Permits must be obtained from the council before opening for business. Those caught in the act without permits will be flogged publicly.
Okay, let's talk about the carnal arts, the oldest profession, getting paid for hanky-panky. This market has been treated differently over time in Italy, including in the 13th century when Pope Boniface VIII ordered prostitutes out of the city, all the way to the curial court issuing licenses to brothels and collecting taxes on them. There's been quite a bit of great research on this topic, and I will link some of the pieces in the description here, but in general, this herald is spitting facts. While it's hard to pin down how the legal system felt about this practice at this exact moment in time, over the course of this time period, different places across Italy tried giving these workers specific areas of the city to work in and licenses to do so. There was a general fear of the visibility of this practice though, and that's why they decided to go with a containment policy.
Udite, udite! To all residents and visitors to Roma, please watch for falling masonry when near building sites. Condolences are extended to all citizens of the English nation for the loss of your ambassador.
Dang, another ambassador bites the dust. These herald messages have killed off a bunch of these people, and this goes to reassure everyone listening that life in the early 1500s Italy is quite dangerous. Also worth noting is the use of the word ambassador here. It's been suggested, particularly by Garrett Mattingly, author of Renaissance Diplomacy, that the origins of permanent diplomacy lay in this time period that we inhabit in Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood. With the upheaval of the Milanese Wars, Italian princes sent resident ambassadors in order to strengthen their alliances. This could be theorized to be the beginning of this system, or at least like a solid precursor. Either way, I can't confirm that England would have had an ambassador in Rome at this point in history, but have to move on.
Reminder, do not drink the waters of the Tevere south of the Campo Marzio. The recent outbreak of syphilis has been linked to this ill-advised practice.
Whoa, what is in the water? That is not how syphilis works at all, considering it's transmitted through the carnal arts. There is an ongoing debate about the origins of this disease, actually, and one theory posits that when Charles VIII seized Naples in 1495 and allowed his mercenary army to celebrate, a plague broke out amongst them. This plague was the result of their relations with the local carnal experts, and this army, when it disbanded, apparently spread it across Europe and the globe. Moving on from potential sources of the disease, interestingly, syphilis was not known as syphilis until 1530, when Guillermo Francescolo used it in a Latin poem, which would make this herald's announcement a little bit impossible, but in his defense, he's also way off about how the disease is transmitted. And that will do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you liked the video, and check back next time for more Assassin's Creed content.